Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 skills which are extremely important for the folks who have more than 8 to 10 years of work experience in their 30s and even in their 40s. Well, I made a video previously around what are the struggles for the corporate employees in their 30s and 40s, and that video resonated very well, and a lot of folks have asked me to continue making videos in the same series, and this is my first attempt at that. Please do click on that like button and share this video as well in your network, because I believe these 7 skills are very unique. So without any further delay, let's jump into the first skill. This is relationship building. I'm not talking about you going and getting married to a colleague or a partner at work. If that happens, good for you. But my emphasis over here is your ability to maintain good relationships with your juniors, your seniors, and even your peers. With your juniors, it is all about, can you coach them so that they can level up their entire game? With your seniors, is it possible for you to take on some of their priorities and you add value directly to them? We are trained from our childhood that, hey, we are always rated against people. If I get first rank, somebody else has to get second. We can't share first rank, right? And hence we always prioritized competition. But in the corporate world, it is always about collaboration. Collaboration is more important than competition, and it does significantly impact your career as you grow older in the corporate world. Now, I was also reading something very interesting a few days back, and this has to do with the author highlighting how our career trajectories of our classmates, our entire batch in the undergrad world, or even in the MBA class are almost same, right? Our career trajectories don't change much, except that somebody is first rank and I'm second, or I'm 15th. But the career trajectories will change once we come into the work world, and I believe these career trajectories will start to diversify a lot more after we gather 8 to 10 years of work experience. And why is that the case? Because our relationships matter more. Who will take a bet on us and who will we take a bet on? These matter a lot more because we can't do everything by ourselves. So please don't underestimate the importance of relationship building. Please go out, network with folks without a second thought about what I will gain in that immediate moment. The long-term impacts would be hugely positive. You just need to give that time, and relationships would always benefit you in the long run. The second skill I want to highlight is how you need to bring in outside-in perspectives at work. Well, what do I mean by outside-in perspective? If you are a Java developer, you continuously work only on the Java code, nothing beyond that. Even if you are working for a retail client, or for an e-commerce client, or for a banking client, do you get time to understand the banking world or the e-commerce world? But as you continue to grow in the corporate world, your expertise in the industry and in the function, marketing, sales, tech, all these things matter a lot more. So you should make an attempt to bring that outside in perspective, which is, it could be the experiences from the domains, from the industries, or your expertise through just reading and gathering a lot of information in your mind. And how do you do that? This is not, hey, you going and reading something and next morning you wake up with all the knowledge in the world. This has to be a continuous exercise. I would highly recommend, why don't you get started with reading good newspapers in India? It could be Wall Street Journal, it could be Business Standard, it could be Economic Times. Please don't go behind Indian Express or NDTV. They do add value at that moment because you get that immediate spike in dopamine reading some masala news. But for you to understand trends, you need to start reading business news more closely. And also, these outside-in perspectives are not just about your understanding of the business world. It is also about understanding people coming from different backgrounds. If you have already gathered experiences working around the world, or even working with teams which are based outside of India, understand their cultural viewpoints. How do they show their objections to certain points? As you grow up the ladder, understanding these cultural nuances with others makes a lot more of impact, because people will come to you or to your boss and say, hey, it is very easy to work with Rahul, or it is not very easy to work with Pavan. And these things do matter. And as you grow, these are the kind of references more than your technical expertise that matters with your promotion and that matters with your salary growth. Before we move on to the next section, I want to introduce to you Cryo.do. Cryo is India's only work experience based QA automation learning and upskilling program. You will be learning tools like Selenium, Cucumber, and work like a test automation engineer at Flipkart and Airbnb for 16 weeks. All the sessions are well structured and live, led by industry seasoned professionals. You also have access to recordings of these sessions in case you want to revisit a topic or you missed any while in the live session. Also, Cryo comes with a guaranteed placement support program where 95% of the users who enrolled are placed in organizations like Flipkart, BharatPay, Salesforce, PharmEasy, and many more. Each user also has access to Cryo's exclusive career services that will help you create a personalized career plan. You get one-on-one coaching sessions, live mock interviews, and expert guidance to crack your dream job. You can book a trial session using the link in the description absolutely for free, and do that right away. Now, coming back into the video, the third skill that I want to highlight is financial management. I'm not talking about you going and reading the quarterly results of every single company out there, the P&L statement or the balance sheet, cash flow statements, all that stuff. No, you don't need to do that. But you just need to understand how much money your company is making, how much profit your company is making. That's it. You understand these things, and you will know a little bit more about why your company is taking certain actions versus not, how the overall economy is impacting your organization. Well, forget about the company. Financial management at an individual level is also extremely important. And what do I mean by that? We know how much money we get in our bank account, right? We have a CTC, that's a certain number, and then we have an in-hand salary. But how do we optimize on these numbers? How do we grow that number? The first and the most important thing is, do you actually have an insurance plan? Whether it could be health insurance, life insurance, whatever it is. This is the most important thing, guys. And these are the things that will help you on a rainy day. No matter how much wealth you accumulate, these guys can take it off in a puff. The second thing is, after insurance, your investments. Do you have at a personal level a tracking or an understanding of where you need to invest, how you need to invest, and what the inflation is? Well, I'm not a financial expert, but I can personally manage my own finances. And that is extremely important for the folks who are in their 30s, who are in their 40s. We can't keep going for our wealth managers for an advice every single time. Our situations are very personal towards us. So we need to be ready for those rainy days, and we need to know how we are planning. And on top of this, if we know a bit about the company's financials, these things will add up a lot of knowledge for us and helps us understand how businesses make decisions. Now, the fourth important skill is your domain expertise. Well, once you are in your 30s, once you are in your 40s, it is not easy for you to keep shifting jobs, right? You can't say that, hey, today I'm a fresher in this particular field. After 5 years, I'll become a fresher in something else. You have a experience and you need to leverage that experience, and only then your salaries will continue to increase. So you need to make sure that you are definitely building that spike in your career in at least one domain area. And how do you do that? If it's technology, I would strongly recommend continue honing your interviewing skills. Doesn't matter, even if you are satisfied with your job, please go ahead and attend some interviews. And that is the only way for you to understand what are some of the toughest questions out there in your area of expertise. And how can you learn those things? If required, you need to spend money and you need to spend time to go ahead and upskill in that particular area. If you are coming from the business background, it is equally important for you to have a holistic understanding of that particular topic. If you are a pricing expert, you need to know how pricing is done across multiple industries and what are some of the tools that are there within the pricing world. And this is the key. As you grow, you will continue to speak with CEOs, CFOs, C-level executives, and they value your domain expertise more than anything else. So please don't underestimate the importance of the domain expertise. Now, the fifth and another interesting, unique skill that you need to continue developing is selling and marketing. What do I mean by selling? I'm not going to say that, hey, you go door to door and sell a toothbrush or a toothpaste. No, I'm saying that when there is an opportunity, you have to sell your skills. A lot of people might get offended when I say that, hey, you have to sell yourself or you have to sell your skills. And people say, from how long, from how many years I have to continue selling my skills? In 10th standard, I had to sell my marks. In 12th standard, I had to sell my marks. In college, I had to sell once again to a placement job. This process is continuous, guys, by the way. You have to continue selling forever. And how do you again improvise on that? One of the key things that you need to have is a 1-minute elevator pitch. And what is this 1-minute elevator pitch? This is about if your CEO comes to you and asks in an elevator, hey Rahul, I never met you. Can you just introduce yourself to me? You need to complete your entire introduction to your CEO in less than 30 to 60 seconds in the elevator. And you need to master that introductory pitch. Because when you go to a networking event, when you randomly meet some people, they will ask you, what are you doing? And you need to be able to tell about your work in an interesting and engaging way in less than 30 to 60 seconds. New opportunities do arise. So please don't ignore that. And within this selling and marketing, there is another important element, your resume. Well, after 8 to 10 years, people will continue to write their resume for 4 pages, 5 pages. If you have 25 years experience, will your resume be for 25 pages? No, guys. Resume is meant to be 1 page. Or at best, 2 pages. That's it. If you write more than that, nobody has patience in the world to read through longer. Now, a quick trivia question. You tell me in the comments, how long do you think a recruiter is going to read your resume? I'll give you options. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Pick one and let me know in the comments. Now, with that level of engagement expected from recruiters, can you write a 3-4 page resume? No. You need to have that 1 page perfect resume. I'll give a link to one of the videos that I have done previously on how to build a good resume, and please spend time on improvising that, because end of the day, getting that new job is still dependent on that 1 page resume. So how much salary you make in the corporate world, how happy you are, who are your colleagues going to be, all of that is dependent on that 1 single page. So spend some time. I would rather say spend a few months basically working on your resume. This is about selling and marketing your own skill, not about the company. The 6th one is executive communication skills. I'm not saying again that you need to be an author or you need to be a script writer to become a great communicator. You don't even need to know great English. Communication is all about you telling somebody a few things and that other person understanding these things and acting on them. That's it. This is good communication. Now, how do you become good communicators? By practice. And what do you practice? I would ask you to journal everything on a daily basis. Take 5 to 10 minutes on a daily basis before you go to bed and just start writing your thoughts. Writing is one of the best ways to improve yourself as a good communicator. And what do you write? Say, this is how my day went, and these are the 3 things that are important takeaways for me from today. That's it. Keep writing every day. And after a few days, one small tweak. When you say, hey, these are the 3 things that happened in my life today, just reorder them and say, this is the most important to the least important. And if you understand what are these 3 things and how are you prioritizing these 3 things, you can communicate, because you are always prepared before you go and talk to a senior executive. So start with this simple exercise, and I believe this will help you. It helped me personally with this simple journaling exercise. That's it. You don't need to be a great speaker. You don't need to be a TEDx speaker, nor you need to be an author to be a good communicator, guys. The 7th important skill is time management. Well, when we are in our early 20s, we don't care, right? We'll sit through the entire night and we'll finish off whatever work we have. But as we get into our 30s, 40s, we have a lot of additional responsibilities as individuals. I would love to spend more time with my family than working in the office. No questions, right? I believe that's the case with majority of us. And in that scenario, it is important for us to time box our work. And what does time boxing mean? If I have to be at work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., let's say the worst case scenario, I'll not carry that work home in my head. And I'll not talk about these work things on a dinner conversation. Work and other things have to be separated. This is one of the most important things for your mental sanity. Yes, I'm specifically highlighting that this time management is a skill that we need to learn. And how do we learn that? We have to draw these hard boundaries. We have to go and tell some of the other junior members in our team that, hey, please follow these time boxing methods. We already have a certain years of experience. We are not freshers that we can't tell what we like versus what we don't like. If somebody is a fresher, they still are little hesitant to share their own stuff. But here, you should be able to share your priorities and mention that you are time boxing. And within that time box as well, plan your work in a 15-minute or a 20-minute or a 30-minute interval so that your productivity is also high. Maintain that productivity within that box, and outside that box, don't even take it. Looks very simple, but very hard to implement, and you need to do it without any other options. I hope these 7 skills are some things which you can pick up and you can get started from today, at least one of them. Now you tell me which one of these skills is something which you will get started immediately. And if there is any other skill in your mind that I did not talk about, I know specifically there are 1 or 2 skills which I did not deliberately mention in this video. I'll speak about them more, but you let me know which is that 1 or 2 skills which are important for the folks in their 30s and 40s, but you haven't seen it in this video. Do let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, let's take the discussion forward. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.